Hello everyone. My name is Marco Micozzi, and I'm startup manager of the Village by SIA, the innovation hub of Credit Agricole Group in Milan. So thank to Campus Party for organizing and hosting this panel. We are here today to explore together a topic which is important as it can be, and yet never discussed enough, how we can have an impact on our cities by creating network. So we will try to add our brick to this building with our guest, Bettina Mirabile.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Hi Bettina, head of CSV and Circular Economy, Innovation and Sustainability for Enel. And then Valentina Cerolini.
Yes,
Hi Valentina.
Hi Marco. Hello everyone.
So CEO and co-founder of this app, a second-hand design marketplace, and Martino Cortese. Hi Martino.
Hi everyone. Hi Marco.
Hi Martino. So CEO and founder of Citybility, a local community maker. We start with Enel for the first question to Bettina. Because the energy industry is now reaching the big public. The question of sustainability is reaching the big public, but the question of circular economy, which is complementary, is often forgotten. What is the Enel approach to the topic?
Thank you for the question, Marco. Actually, circular economy, it's becoming pivotal for us. It's definitely reshaping our way of doing business. In fact, we are rethinking the whole value chain from the very early design phase of our business up to the end of life of our asset and product. This is important for us because we want to reduce the consumption of resources. We want to avoid as much as possible emission, but we also want to maximize the value from our business model thanks to sharing solutions. So since we are talking about cities, actually circular economy is exactly the business model that shifted us from working on a smart cities approach where technology is essential to a sustainable cities approach where innovation and cutting-edge technologies are only the way to achieve more sustainable goals. So for us it's important because this change of mindset of the circular economy allowed us to move from an approach where we were almost building something like a Blade Runner cities approach where technology was the only target to a new solution where the cities are an ecosystem where we want to ensure economic competitiveness, social inclusiveness, and environmental sustainability. So in this moment, also to meet the challenges of urbanization and of the climate change, cities are the place that should host up to 70% of the global population up to 2050. In order to ensure the quality of life for the citizens, the energy sector, and Enel is doing quite a lot on this task, need to ensure the backbone for the local development, for quality of life for all citizens. So this is exactly the backbone where we meet different actors that are enabling the decade of electrification. So we are the backbone to connect e-mobility, smart home, the distributed generation with the private producer. So we are at the, let's say, the cornerstone to support the development of more sustainable cities. To give you just one example of how we are embedding the circular economy business model in our business value chain, let me talk about the smart meters. This is a device that we are all familiar with because we have it at home. We have been challenging ourselves into trying to utilize regenerated plastic from old meters to produce the new ones. And this was quite a challenge because we have to comply with all the regulation and features that we need to respect. And we did it leveraging on the local ecosystem with a new circular ecosystem, and thanks to new actors, we have been able to, from one side, reach consistent reduction in the CO2 emissions, but at the same time, we have been able to boost the local ecosystem and local enterprises because this is a brand new field of development. The manufacturing industry is still in a very early stage. So this is an example of how we are going circular, trying to increase as much as possible regenerated material into our value chain.
Okay, thank you very much, Bettina. We will talk more about your project later, but of course, we had an example of what a large company can do. Smaller company can act as well. And so I'd like to ask Valentina, what can they do? What do you do? And I think we have a sustainability manifesto that we can watch to start our discussion.
10 million tons of furniture are thrown away every year in Europe. These start from point A, production, and then arrive at point B, disposal. A straight line, a linear economy. But today, we cannot continue to think linearly, thinking we own infinite resources. This is why it is necessary to favor a circular economy. DSUP is the marketplace that is innovating the consumption model of design furniture towards this direction, enabling the online resale of used furniture throughout Europe. Like any revolution system, DSUP has also drawn up its sustainability manifest, the springboard to make its business even more sustainable. Here are the main points. 1. Becoming a benefit company is the starting point for an inclusive and innovative business. 2. Innovating the consumption model of design furniture that has an intrinsic value made of precious materials that last over time. The goal is to make sure that these resources do not go to waste. To date, thousands of design pieces have been given a second life, avoiding excess production and the environmental costs of eventual disposal. But it is never enough. 3. The environmental impact must be minimized. Carbon neutral deliveries and website. The possibility to locally pick up products directly from the seller and eco-friendly packaging are our primary objectives. 4. Supporting the green revolution and growing the community of design lovers by 10 times more than today, raising awareness towards a sustainable world, because awareness can be a catalyst for change. For example, projects like the Forest Month have allowed the involvement of the community, allowing the protection of 100,000 square meters of forest in the Brazilian Amazon. Spread the word about DSUP. Only together we can contribute to creating a better world with less waste.
Okay, here we are. So, Valentina, what we can understand from your video is that sustainability is the core itself of your business.
Yes, that's right, Marco. Thanks for sharing the video that we actually finalized very recently. It was an ending point for us as an innovating startup of a real path of thinking about how us as a small corporation can contribute in a bigger project that can have an impact of the planet overall. So about this video, it highlights, as you say, some milestones that refer to our business. Maybe it's good if I just point out what we do as a startup. We are a marketplace that are very vertical and focused on second-hand luxury furniture items. We have a few years of life now, but we are growing and growing fast now, working in Italy where we're born, but also internationally. We decide to base our business on the circular economy model, and in this video we can see how the path of the furniture industry actually, you know, is moving from linear to circular. We definitely need to recycle and use more and more the furniture that you know, are in our houses, and that's what we are focused on, and we are trying to act as a catalyst, as enabler for this. We are actually somehow follower of the fashion industry, where, you know, this system of the second hand is much more common and familiar for everybody. We are applying this circular system in the furniture industry. And in 2021, we decided to finalize and to make the points on this manifest that is based on some milestones that regards the impact that we may reduce on our planet, the involvement of our community, and obviously the manifest is a big word. It includes a lot of activities that we've been running now in this year, with the proper sustainability plan that we are putting in place. Of course, it will take some time, but to go back to the question, I think that us as innovative startup, but also big corporations, also everybody like in the society can do a small contribution to get a bigger result. So yeah, we really think that sustainability for us must be the big pillar of our activity, and that's how we try to operate every day.
And it's very important because especially in Italy, there are so many small and medium companies that, of course, everyone has to contribute and play their part. Martino, for you, the main asset of your business is not the technology, it's the community itself. So your ambition, the ambition of Citability, is to encourage the development of local communities, of local network, especially in the big cities, so that they can work together to solve the common issues.
Yes, well, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Marco, for this introduction. Let me just spend a few words on what is Citability as well. Citability, as you may understand from the name itself, stands for enabling the cities. How do we plan to enable the cities? As you were saying, bringing the whole community together, which is, as you were saying, quite an ambitious thing to do, meaning that it's not at all easy. And how do we plan to do it? Well, I think that in some way, I'll get back to the same title that you have chosen for this panel, which says building a circular city means impacting society together. And if I take like the first and last word of the sentence, which are building together, that's the answer to how we plan to bring the whole community together. Meaning that we believe that in co-design is the solution, is the answer to how to bring the whole community together. And starting from where? Starting from that, call it theme, that should be of interest of everyone, which is childhood. Childhood is a theme which should be very important, and everyone should care about it for different reasons. Firstly, because let's say that I like to say that 9 out of 10 of the problems that we face throughout our lives, or that we have to face as a community, are born during childhood. Meaning that in those first years of life of the person, of a human being, you're literally giving like the imprint of what this person will be able to be in his future, giving him the opportunity to fulfill and realize himself within the community. And so, recalling a famous African saying, which says that to grow a child, you need an entire village. Well, the ambition of Citability is to put together the whole village. And this, I would say, for different reasons. As I was saying, mainly because most of the problems start there. And so the idea is to start solving problems at the root, where they all start. And I would also say, because as you might have understood, we need to build a community around this new, I would say, also vision. And so, which theme works better and should be of interest of everyone than childhood? Let's give an example. If there are no kindergartens, or the ones that are not very high in terms of quality, it means that more children stay at home. And for how things are going today, along with children, more mothers stay at home. And so you have gender inequality, you have poverty, educational poverty, you have less women working. And so from there, you can start to understand what I mean with all problems start with childhood.
Great. And use the word, which is vision. And I think it describes very well the vestige of your ambition. But I think you already have some project ongoing.
Yeah, we're building it. We're building it. As you may imagine, the historical moment is not the best, especially to start the dialogue with the kindergartens and with city councils and so on. But yeah, we're working. We're trying to build a big, let's say, communication project, which aims at involving a whole city, supposedly, of course, Milan, where we are. Where the idea is that the whole city, meaning the whole community stakeholders, take care of the local kindergartens, which are facing, which have more issues of the city. Why this? Because the idea is to showcase this vision, meaning that, just as you understood, it's very ambitious, and it won't be easy to realize. And so we want to show what it means, which is the end point we want to get to, no? So that the idea is to get people excited, get a whole city wanting to build this, and so getting engaged. So that's is where we plan to start. And this is also because, in a way, what we're trying to spread is also some sort of shift of paradigm. Also, in terms of the role that everyone plays, starting from companies and also the way they communicate. So up until today, we've heard a lot about storytelling. And then instead, in the last periods, thanks also to the works, for example, of just to name one, Philip Kotler and his brand activism, we'll start to hear more and more about story doing, meaning that what has to change is that the story has to be written and told along with the whole community. So, and this is, let's say, the basics to build a circular community and a circular, in this case, city. Starting with a circular approach, a circular mindset. And yeah, so this is what we are currently working on.
Okay, thank you. So Bettina, Martino has mentioned his vision, the concept of story doing, the network, the communities, but you're also working for the disadvantaged community, for the inclusion of the most vulnerable person. Can you explain what a corporate like Enel can concretely do about this?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I like very much what Martino was saying about the story doing, because definitely this is the only way to deliver results. It's not longer a question of just talking about, but delivering results. For us as energy company, we have the task of delivering energy access, which means not only delivering reliable and clean energy, but also delivering and ensuring access to electricity to everybody, including to vulnerable customers. And by saying this, I mean both inclusiveness customers we have which face a problem of inclusiveness, and also vulnerable customers in terms of fuel poverty issues. This is part of our big task, because we want to really to ensure fair energy transition, leaving no one behind. So next to all the projects that we are dealing for, let's say, the business as usual activities, we are putting in place also a lot of projects together with local ecosystem, meaning by that social enterprises, startups, community network, university, and so on and so forth, in order to meet the requirement at very specific level. In order to ensure the purpose of a sustainable cities environment, we definitely need to know beforehand which are the priority needs at local level, and then we need to put in place different solutions to meet those needs for all the citizens. To give you an example of how we are trying to abate the economic barrier and to deliver access to electricity to vulnerable clients, let me make an example of a project that is called Enel that we are carrying out in Brazil. In this case, we have fast-moving mega cities in different parts of Brazil, where we have slums growing and people who are not able to afford the payment of the bill. So working together with different actors, we have created a small ecosystem where the people with some kind of economic troubles, they are able to collect and deliver their waste, talking about paper, glasses, and so on and so forth. And in return, they get some kind of discount that is enabling them to reduce or even avoiding the payment of their electricity bill. And this ecosystem is also applied to people who are not in need, who can bring back waste and donate their money, their bonus to customers in needs. This is one of this project that we are delivering and trying to scale up also in other countries, which is very good because at the same time it's supporting people in difficulties, but also improving let's say, the environmental sustainability of the different area. But actually, vulnerability is not only, and fuel poverty are not only a task in the emerging markets. It's unfortunately, as we see from the current pandemic situation, it's increasing also in mature markets. So we definitely are trying to work together based on the different peculiarity and conditions to define new projects. But vulnerable clients for us is not only a question of economic barrier, it's also a question of disability. So just to give another example of how we are working together with startups, we have been working on a new charging station for electric wheelchairs for disabled people. And that was really important to enable people to get free mobility again. So we are distributing in Italy, we are installing in Italy new recharging stations specifically for this task. And this is just another example, but on top of that, we are leveraging really with strategic partnership with local startup. We are leveraging on new solution app to improve inclusiveness and equality for all the typology of customers.
Okay, thank you. You anticipated a subject. We will talk more later about the startups and the way you're open to your ecosystem. But we have some project also mentioned in the presentation of this app, as for example, the Forest Month, which is a different approach. Valentina, can you tell us more?
Yeah, sure. So basically, back in November 2021, we have decided as a company to dedicate an entire month to a sustainability initiative that we name Forest Month, because for all the month, we decide to involve our community of sellers and buyers, everybody into this project that had an impact on the planet somehow. We also, as Bettina, picked Brazil as our target country for this initiative. Why? Because it's the source of a lot of energy, oxygen, and also plantation. So basically, what we did, with the organization Forest in Piedi, we have decided to allocate our investment into the protection of this part of this territory. So with the involvement of our community, we ensure the protection of about 50,000 meters square of territory in Brazil. What does it mean? That the local families actually took charge and responsibility of the protection of this territory. Of course, this is a small piece of contribution, but as I said earlier, I think that if all companies or all individuals with the chance to take this action, we can do a lot together. For us, this was a relevant initiative that we have decided to do in parallel with the launch of our manifest, because it also has an impact of one of the milestones of our manifest, because we truly believe that involving our community and make the community more sensible in the importance of the respect of the planet is part of our mission. And the Forest Month, it was our initiative that we are very happy to have done, and maybe we replicate in the coming month.
Great. And I'd like to point out the fact that both big corporate like Enel and a startup like like a big corporate like Enel and a startup like this app, you don't need to act alone for the circular economy, but you can work in communities, you can work with associations who are dedicated to this kind of project. How do you, Valentina, how do you animate, how do you involve your community?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we run those type of special projects or special initiatives that are very exceptional, also for the type of investment that we put behind. We run every day a sort of proper education with our community. So we do have sellers and buyers of design furniture, and they interact with us, that visualize our content. Simply, we send newsletter, we communicate on our social media channels, but not only. We try with all the words that we select, with all the call to action, we try to make people more closer and closer to the sustainability as a value that, of course, is part of our business, but is part of the daily life. Another thing that we've been doing also is stimulating the sharing among those users. Sharing for us means sharing experiences of purchasing something that is secondhand, and being part of this circular system. People as a seller, so as a buyer, share their experience, and they give incentive each other in keep doing and behave in this way. So yeah, this is like a set of activity that I would like to point out. There are much more things, but those are the main ones that we've been working every day.
Okay, thank you. And Martino, you talk about a project working with the participation and the funding of the work community. Everyone has to participate, everyone has to contribute to solve problems which can be common. Is this a kind of crowdfunding?
No, actually, I see it, I like to see it more as a sort of evolution of crowdfunding, meaning taking what's good about crowdfunding and many other aspects of the role of each player in a community and bringing it to a new step. So I would rather call it some like cross-funding, community cross-funding platform and initiative, meaning that technology giving the chance to everyone, meaning every community stakeholder. So it means people, companies, municipalities, NGOs, foundations, everyone forming a community, taking part in solving common issues, common social issues, as I was telling before, in this case related to childhood, and I like to see this in a perspective where different, I would say, keywords start to change as well. For example, well, we of course seeing many companies doing more and more corporate social responsibility, but in our vision, I would say that we need to give more importance to the role of people, of how they act every day, and that's why we see our initiative, and we would call people to participate to social responsibility shopping initiatives, meaning that CSR is something, let's say, it's marketing, and it's so for companies, and instead we want to give importance to people and their role within the society. And what do people do? They go shopping. So in our vision, it's we would like to try and redefine the way people shop, and which means the way people participate within the community, relate to the different stakeholders. That's why playing around a little bit with our name, which is Sustainability, our users, of the people who we would like to involve, we would like to call them the citybiliters, meaning the enablers of the city. Enablers of a city that throughout participating in many ways to the well-being of the community, they change their same role, meaning that what we would like to do is to try to let's say hook micro donations on to people's normal consumption, so that when people purchase goods and services and so on, every time it's they have the chance to have an impact. And so, to give an example, from when you wake up in the morning and go and drink a coffee at the bar, there you have like a charity cashback, which goes directly sustaining the kindergarten of your own child. And then you go and do the grocery shopping, and the same likewise. I mean, when you go to pay, there's a charity cashback at which you add up like an automatic roundup, meaning so you're both the company and yourself participating to the well-being of your child's kindergarten. And then maybe you do an order online on Deliveroo for lunch, and at the same time, again, so do you understand, in different moments in which you purchase, and they're all moments in which you can generate a social impact. By doing so, what you're actually redefining is, apart from a customer experience, you're actually redefining a citizen experience, and that is where we want to go.
Okay, thank you. And Martino, you mentioned the cashback. You mentioned some solutions that are made available by the new technologies, and also Bettina earlier, she talked about startups for a wheelchair, for example. So I asked Bettina, how Enel gained a reputation in this last year for its process on open innovation, how you can easily work with your whole network, your supplier, startup, association. Can you tell us more about the way you can act with your network?
Sure. As you were mentioning, we provide and promote an open innovability approach. Actually, this is due to the fact that the vision of Enel is what we call the open power vision. If we want to stay competitive, we definitely need to stay open and to work together. It's not just signing agreement on a specific issue. It's rather working together and moving forward in a journey together with different typology of stakeholder and actors. So depending of the phase, we have different stakeholder we are dealing with. So if we talk about the business value chain. We have the supply chain, of course, and they are really partner. They are not longer just provider. They're really partner in this journey, and they share with us also our task on and our goals on circular economy, on reducing emissions and ensuring social equality. At the same time, we are working strongly through also our innovation hub across the world into scouting new solution, new technological solution, but also new business model together with the startup ecosystem. This is strategic for us in order to catch new opportunities, but also to solve problems. So really, we rely on startups, we rely on the crowdsourcing also, sourcing, right? We have a platform, open platform where everybody, also a single person, may access and submit solutions. So we really are constantly investigating and asking questions to solve our challenges, but at the same time we are scouting for what's going on the outside market. But it's not only that. This is pivotal to rethink and revise our business processes and our asset. But at the same time, we are also scouting, let's say, the ecosystem downstream of our business model. So we have a different typology of waste that may be a value for new local ecosystem at different levels. So for instance, we have trimming waste that we are currently using for biomass, but in the meanwhile, we are exploring solutions to transform trimming waste from the vegetation management into new organic closes. Or this is a solution we are exploring. We are also exploring a solution of supporting the local development, mainly of vulnerable citizens, mainly women in difficulties. We are together with NGOs working with this people, with the citizens in needs, and they take our clauses, the safety clauses that we use for our business activities, and transform them into new fashion solution, fashion models. So we have plenty of activities that, depending on the phase of our business, we may deliver it together in order to really enhance as much as possible the collective impact for also the local environment. So more than ever, circular economy, it's a question of collaborating, and also a question of disrupting a new symbiosis between sector that, as of yesterday, didn't have any point of connection. Thanks to circular economy approach, we are able really to unlock new opportunities of synergies, creating a positive impact both for the communities and for environment. So really, I think it's an exciting moment to be working, and I think I see a really a very good opportunities for us to share new experience and to build together a new solution and a better future.
I like the word exciting that you use, because indeed it's true. It's there are new ideas and evolution coming from everywhere. So indeed, working on this network allow us to be constantly in touch with this new evolution, and also to make sense of our job working in this circular economy. And do you think that this capacity to work in network is how can I say, like a normal evolution for a company which has made of its physical and digital network its own business, its own industry?
I think so, definitely. I think companies who are not embracing this open ecosystem approach, they are not going to survive in the future, because it's we are more and more interconnected. This is what we have seen, and I think also this pandemic, it's supporting us and into achieving this awareness of how we are interconnected. So we definitely need to work together. It's a very dynamic ecosystem. So we are working with a startup, and at the end, we took their idea. In the meanwhile, they grow up and doing other stuff. So it's a very dynamic situation. Sometimes we put simply startup or NGOs or other industries together. We shared our ecosystem, our competencies, our devices, in order to grow all together. And I think only working together we may achieve some specific target that none of us in the private sector, public sector can achieve without interconnecting with each other. So definitely see this is a must-have. This is, I would say, more and more a starting point. Working together is the only way to deliver results and to support as soon as possible the solution of the key global challenges that we are facing, starting from the climate change. And on top of that, we have power being a big company, but being such a big global company make us not so easy to be quick, and we need to be quick. So interacting with different typology of stakeholder, mostly with the startup, enable us to be quick, to fulfill what we are lacking of, and from our side we are able to support the startup into delivering results. So really it's a win-win situation, and in this sense we are also enabling what we call the shared value approach. For us, we want to promote a sustainable business where we are at the same time improving and delivering business results while ensuring a shared value also for all our stakeholders. So I think there is no other way than doing this journey together.
Okay, thank you. I have a last question for Valentina, because you're a startup, so you're working with new technologies. So do you think that these circular economies, these opportunities that we are catching now, are made available by the new technologies, so that we can do something that maybe 10 years ago we couldn't do, and that we can involve our communities in ways that 10 years ago we couldn't do?
Yes, indeed. I think technology is helping, enabling and helping, but also, on my point of view, I think it's a matter of culture. Because this topic, this behavior, this attitude also in contributing and considering that, you can do something in different way, or you may approach, a simple purchase process in different way, change a lot. I mentioned earlier, but we work in the furniture industry, and we also notice and compare every day to the fashion industry, that 10 years ago, maybe, also 15 years ago, already was approaching in working differently. So at that time, for sure, technology started already to help to enable a different circular system. Now the thing became a cultural topic, on my point of view. But it's never enough. So of course things change. Technology is helping, but as a corporations, as a startup, institutions also, we need to keep pushing all the tools available. Who is enabled the tools in the technology and also in the physical world, I would say, because now we're used to work remotely and connect, but I think that for this cultural change, the physical approach also it counts a lot. So I think that's the direction.
Okay, thank you. I think we have some questions from the public. First question. I want to start a startup, but I'm afraid of falling immediately if I focus on sustainability rather than profit. What can I do? I think that maybe Valentina is the best person to answer this question.
Right, I take this one. So us as a startup, we reached the point of seriously actively working on the sustainability topic after a lot of steps we went through. So for sure, at the beginning is important, it's fundamental, set up the basic. So create your business model, validating, and find a way to attract potential community. Then you can also focus on the sustainability. But I would suggest that also at the beginning, you need to take this into consideration, focus on a model, but keep in mind which impact in terms of sustainability your business model want to have. So I think that's the best thing to do. Of course, we are corporations. We need to make money somehow, because you need to support the growth. You have a team, you need technology, etc. But I do think that nowadays, if you don't demonstrate to your community that you are having an impact also on the planet, it's becoming more difficult and less reasonable to get the future. That's my view.
Yes, because indeed there is a true demand for sustainability by the public. So it can also happen the contrary. If you don't provide the sustainability, if you don't take care of your environment, of your network, you could lose the opportunities.
Exactly. I think it's a matter of responsibility, Marco. You need to be responsible as a founder, as a corporation, in having a contribution. Otherwise, I don't think it can work out.
Okay, thank you. Next question. How do you measure the impact of your sustainability? So this is, I would ask to Bettina, maybe.
I was sure about that. I'll take this one. Yes. This is challenging, let me say, because it's easy to measure the sustainability value when it comes to, let's say, the number of beneficiaries that you're reaching. But it's not so easy to really measure all the impact. I mean, this is something that, first of all, there is not, as of today, one single way of measuring the results. There are different typologies. So this is really something that all of us also at the international level are working on. What we do, we started to say, okay, let's measure some common indicators. The first thing is everything we do must be measured in terms of how many emissions we are avoiding, reducing, or producing. So this is one task that we need to follow also, because if you do not measure, you cannot put yourself a challenge, a goal of improving your business, and so you cannot delivering results. Let me say, measuring is pivotal also for another issue. More and more, and this is also connecting to the previous question, investors are looking for how sustainable is our business. So they are not longer looking only to profit, but also they are looking on how sustainably you are delivering results. And we are facing an increasing percentage of investors that are investing in Enel without any connection to Enel, just because we are matching target of specific index of sustainability. So we need to deliver some kind of measurement, how we have to monitor and measure as much as possible how we are ensuring value for the communities, for the stakeholders, how we are transparent, how we are protecting the gender equality internally and externally, how we are protecting also the inclusiveness, how we are protecting environment, and taking all the measure proactively in order to deliver a business in a very sustainable way. So we need to ensure that proactively we do analysis and evaluation that ensure that we are not going to affect negatively the environment, but rather we are providing value for the external environment, meaning by that both the biodiversity, but also obviously the social context. So I think this is really a strategic point, and without measuring, there is no results. So definitely, this is a very good point. This is also, let me say, it's the point of difference between greenwashing, which is the new fashion now, I would say.
Exactly.
Everybody's talking about being sustainable, but without measuring, it's not easy to say. I mean, you cannot prove that you are really, in your DNA, you are sustainable, you are acting fine. So sorry to take too much time.
At all, it was very interesting, and the difference with greenwashing is something that I think that everyone wonders, because it's easy to say that we are acting for the network, for the communities, but it's indeed more complicated to act. I don't know if you have any other questions. Okay. Martino, which is the base to build a community? Single individuals or families or neighborhoods?
Wow, nice question. Thank you. Well, a community is made up of different stakeholders, but stakeholders at the end of the day are people, human beings, and their first gatherings around what we could call systems is the family. The second system is kindergartens. So the idea is to start from the root of where communities are built. That's why we have chosen to focus on kindergartens. And with our co-design approach, the idea is to involve both the kindergarten, the staff of the kindergarten, and the families in this co-design approach, which makes the pains, the real pains, come up all together, co-design the possible solutions. And then from there, involve, of course, the parents, but we don't want to, let's say, stress even more families, which are already facing many issues. We want to bring all this to the whole community, and so from the families, then maybe involve the friends. And also, apart from the friends, the employers and the company for whom the parents work for. And so from there, from this, call it nucleus, which is the kindergarten, there's that sort of radial dynamic which involves the whole community on an interest which should be and is of interest of everyone.
Okay, thank you. And of course, the community is fed by companies acting to have an impact, like Enel, Citability, and this app. So I think that our time here is over. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Bettina. Thank you, Valentina. Thank you, Martino.
Thanks
to you. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Campus Parting, for hosting this panel. And bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.